Hi, everybody.
Hi. There's always something to laugh about right as we start.
Yeah, it's Kim and Jen from Fleece and Harmony in Belfast, PEI.
Kim and Jen.
Yes. If this is your first time joining us, woohoo! Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, exactly. And if you've been with us before, then you know what happened. So for the people that haven't seen us before, we own a sheep farm in Belfast, Prince Edward Island. And we also spin our fleece and the fleece from other sheeps on the island into yarn. And I do the spinning, Jen does the dyeing, and so we have a yarn store too.
Yeah. And if you've been with us from the beginning, you're a very tolerant and patient soul.
Yes, we ramble quite a lot. We talk about the farm because we have animals on the farm and lots of adventures.
Yeah.
Tell a few stories.
Yeah.
Talk about the Maritimes, our culture, and a little bit.
Whatever debacles.
And then whatever else comes into our head.
Yeah. And if you joined us last episode, which we had to re-record because of sound issues, I'm proud to report that there is exactly 0 microphones on the market that will work with an iPad Pro.
Right.
So it wasn't me. I actually finally went to the AV specialist, and there actually isn't one that will work.
Totally bizarre.
So I know I'm spazzy, and I had poop on my lens at one point and didn't realize it, but the microphone thing was not my fault.
Yeah.
So there's no more microphone because there are no microphones.
Right.
And we've got backups on top of backups today, so we'll only be recording this once.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
you might have jinxed it.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, don't say that. That's the worst thing to say.
But I was going to say, that was only 2 weeks ago, but what a year it's been.
Yes. All right, so the farm update is a little unexpected.
Yeah.
Based on our last farm
point. It feels like that was 3 months ago.
Yes, exactly. But it was only 2 weeks ago since we last saw you. And you remember that we said in about 3 weeks we should have lambs. Well, we were wrong. So not only was our sheep birth control game not on spot, but we have no clue what we're doing. We've been at this now for 8 years, and somehow everything is...
I think the udders look smaller in the summer.
Yeah, I think so. Our little
is that a rule?
Yeah, our little tricks to figure out when they're going to go and when they're ready is none of it's working. So we don't know why that is, but just to give everybody a little bit of background. So we decided that we weren't going to have any lambs this year because we just felt like we had to have a break. We made that decision last November, and we were pretty chuffed after everything that's happened that we weren't going to have to lamb this year.
Lambing in the time of COVID.
Yes, was probably not going to be a good thing.
No opportunity to get help or anything.
So high fives all around.
Yeah.
Good decision.
Yeah.
Almost, how intuitive was that? Not Dodged a bullet. Ha ha ha. Anyway, had Wayne Newton, our ram, got in with the girls.
Yeah.
And we started seeing signs that maybe we were going to have a few lambs. This is a totally off season for sheep to have lambs.
Usually they're bred in the fall, October, November, December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then have spring lambs.
Right. So, this happened at the end of March.
Right.
Yeah.
So here we are. It's sheep are pretty tight as far as their gestation period. It's like 146 days or so. So you can, or 45. So you can actually count on the calendar, and right on the day that I was supposed to start, it started. So
he was rate efficient, but we're still net down 115 lambs.
Yes, exactly. so we had ewes that were pregnant, and he was in there for a little while because we didn't bother to take him out because we thought, well, it's not in season.
They won't be cycling.
It's not like it was a whole big surprise that he was in there. The surprise was that he was actually
able to breed.
He was actually able to breed
at the end of March.
Right. So we're almost to the end of the time that he was in. Like when we took him out, we know the date that we finally said because he looked a little. We saw a few little shenanigans.
Seemed like he was getting positive feedback.
Yeah, exactly. So then we took him out. We didn't want to chance it anymore. And we're getting to the end of the number of days that he was in there, and plus 145 days. So I mean, there could be a few late bloomers, but
like the one we just had an hour ago.
So right, so things happen when we're going to podcast, there's always something that happens.
So just so you know, because I didn't even get a chance to tell you this yet because I had family visiting, and I was like, oh, here's Merlin, more on that later. He's our current bottle lamb. And I was like, let me find, because he's big already. Yeah. He's a week old. He's big. They're going on 2 weeks, I guess. 2 weeks. So I said, let me find you a younger one. So I go into the trees and I'm like, who's that?
Well, they don't know who you're talking about. Who? That you were finding.
Yeah, I'm finding a younger lamb.
As a visit.
Yeah.
For a visitor.
To show a visitor. I said that. I said I had family visiting.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you say that.
I talk fast.
Okay.
I think I said that. We'll find out because this is being recorded. For quality assurance purposes. Anyway, so they had visitors, so I'm showing them the lambs, and I showed them Merlin, and then I was like, let me find you a younger one because he's pretty big and I want to show you, one that's a few days old. So I'm going through the thing, they're all in the shade sleeping, and I'm like, what happened to that one? That one doesn't look very good. Looks like it's wet or something. And then I was like, no, it can't be. It was just born.
Yeah.
I thought one was that we already had for like a few days was horribly sick.
Yeah.
It was scary. I was like, why is it fur all matted like that and looking like straggly? Like, what the heck happened? Anyway, it was a brand new lamb.
Yeah. The hits keep coming.
Yeah. And then, of course, Merlin, the bottle lamb, the mom was kind of had things under control, but then I got her up to make sure the baby was drinking and do a few things to the baby that we do, like clean up the umbilical cord and whatnot. Merlin was right in there, drinking from the new mom. She was completely confused, but wasn't sure. Yeah. She's sniffing him, but she didn't kick him off.
No.
So now she's got 2.
But that's how Merlin got in trouble in the first place.
Right.
So Merlin is, and by the way, you're going to see some pictures and stuff. So the ram that was in with ewes is Wayne Newton, and he's a black sheep. So, and most of our
his wool is black. He's very well behaved.
Yes, except I guess he was just doing what he was supposed to be doing. He didn't know what time of year it was. Anyway, he's got black wool, and the ewes are mostly they'll have black sheep or white sheep. Like they're kind of black is recessive. So if you're trying to think of your high school biology, it takes 2 recessive genes to make a black lamb. And most of our ewes have 1 black and 1 white gene. So when they get mixed up with the black ram, you can have a white lamb or a black lamb, but we're getting mostly black lambs.
Yeah. Well, it's actually probably half and half. I think it looks like a lot of black lambs because black lambs look different.
They're cute,
but they're very cute. And white ones are adorable too. But Merlin and Otis came out together. Yeah. They were twin brothers. Yeah. All was well. Yeah. So for those of you,
and that's interesting because one's a black lamb and one's a white lamb.
Yeah, it happens all the time. They're very individually designed.
Yeah.
So all was more or less well. We thought maybe Merlin was a little bit too aggressive for the mom. Yeah. So we couldn't tell, is she feeding him? Is she not? Whatever. Mm. Then another super helpful ewe came over and gave birth to her lamb on top of Merlin. Yes. And soaked Merlin in all of her amniotic fluid and smells and all that good stuff, which a mother sheep identifies their babies through sound, but mostly smell. Yeah. They will call to each other and recognize each other's voice. Yeah. But when the lamb arrives to suckle, if you don't smell right, you're not getting in. Right. And that is a hard and fast rule. They will do anything to get that lamb away from them. They do not want their milk going to another sheep's. Right.
Evolutionary.
Right. It's like their resource. Strategy. They're protecting it. It's for their babies only. And they're quite violent about it, usually. Yeah. So that's what happened.
And by violent, mean they really won't let them suckle. So.
But or they might kick at them or buck them with their head or whatever. Yeah. So then that was it. Then the mother was like, well, I knew he couldn't be mine. Yeah. And now he doesn't smell right, and I don't want to have anything to do with him. That's right. So then in comes me to do the bottle feeding, or you're making the milk and I'm doing the feeding because I like doing it. Yeah. So we're out there 3 times a day, but now he's actually already on solid hay already. Yeah. And then he's now stealing, which is why, if you've ever wondered why they call them bummer lambs, it's because they go around bumming milk from other ewes. Yeah. And usually they can't do it very successfully until they get really big, or we've had some that know to stay at the tail. Yeah. And then the mom can't see them. Yeah. And can't smell them, and so they kind of like work it out like that. Yeah. But now this ewe from just giving birth 2 hours ago seems to have adopted Merlin. Oh.
And
she's fully letting him. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Great.
She's either completely confused. Yeah. Or a little dopey from her.
The truth is that most of our sheep have twins and triplets. And that's the one thing that we noticed about this time of year is they are all having singles.
Yeah.
And they're all in really good shape. So it's a bit unusual. So we think that that's because they were bred out of season, technically. Yeah. So, which is fine by us at this point.
One was plenty.
Yeah, one's plenty.
One each.
But it's been quite an amazing, because they're all out in the pasture, so nobody's in a barn.
Yeah.
And they're just freestyling it out there. And
lots of fresh air and sunshine, and the water's fresh, and there's nothing pooling or gathering anywhere. There's very little, sort of bacteria.
It's very dry.
Yeah.
So some of the things that you need to be careful of in the barn just don't even apply.
Yeah.
So they're dropping them in the field. They're warm.
Yeah.
It's not minus 22 degrees like it is in March sometimes.
Yeah.
And we're checking. We can hear them because we have them close to the house. So Ken is particularly good at
hearing strange noises.
Yeah, he can't hear me when I'm talking to him. But somehow, we've talked about this before, but for people that don't remember or whatever, is that when a mom is about to have birth, she starts talking like a murmuring, little like that.
Yeah.
And she talks to her lamb like that, even before it comes out. Ken can recognize that from our kitchen. I don't know how. He says, I hear something. And I knew you can't. Anyway, so he goes out, and sure enough, he's caught everyone.
Yeah.
That we've, like, if we haven't, he catches them. So, in fact, he's so attuned to it that we have to close our bedroom window at night because he can hear every sound. Right. Anyway, it's been, like, they've all just come out.
Yeah.
The sheep farmers that are really, like, real sheep farmers would be having a fit because there's only one lamb most of the time. We've had a couple sets of twins.
Yeah.
But for us this year, that's perfect.
But here's the funny thing about owning animals, and even pet home owners will relate. I had just finished explaining a couple days ago to the people who were visiting that a mother, because we had these two little ones where their mom had no milk, which we're going to tell you about next. And it was like, well, can't another mother feed them or can't? No.
Yeah.
Sheep won't feed other babies.
Yeah.
No,
and if
not
you have
happening.
One that will, you keep that one in your
flock.
It
doesn't happen. There's like all kinds of really complicated procedures. In fact, some people recommend putting a dog in, and then maybe the protective instincts will kick in and she'll take it. There's all these convoluted ways to try to get them to join up.
Yeah.
None of them ever work, as far as we know.
Yeah. So,
the person I was explaining all this to shows up today. Well, look, Merlin's eating off that other mother. Right. Because I don't know anything. Thank you, Merlin, another mother.
Yeah.
So typical. Oh, he's really on there. Oh, look, he's eating off her again.
Yeah. Helpful.
Just like, well, that never happens.
Yeah. So, but we suspected he's, some of them do get pretty adept at stealing milk.
Oh, he wasn't stealing. She fully is.
No, but we kind of suspected that he was stealing before. But his own mother does have lots of milk.
Yeah, she just doesn't want him. He doesn't smell right.
He was very aggressive. Like when he was drinking, he was really
try holding the bottle.
They punch at the udder with their nose, and sometimes if they're too strong, then the mothers don't like that.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, he'll be just fine, but he did make a liar out of me big time.
Yeah, but I'm happy that he's found another mother.
So if we go out there and she's feeding him constantly, then we can lay off. Yeah. Because he's also on hay now, eating a little bit, and they're out there chewing their cud already. And it's amazing how quickly they mature and how big they get really quickly.
He's a chunk.
He's a chunk. And so was his brother.
Solid, yeah.
His brother Otis is no small shrinking violet either.
No.
And they're like a marauding gang of rowdy gangsters out there. All the lambs.
In the evening, the lambs all gather together, and then you can see them running around.
They're out there terrorizing the farmyard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we have two groups now, because we were going to try to pick out all of the ewes that we thought were pregnant and put them in with a group of yearling ewes that we have. But that didn't work out. Mm-hmm. So then we were like, okay, well, it's no good to be stressing them out by chasing them around anyway. So let's just see what happens. Yeah. So we've really beefed up the electrical fence because we want to make sure that they're all safe.
Right.
And I don't know. So so far it's good. And we've got the girl, Heather, who wants to apply to the vet school, is coming and helping us. It's kind of... This is the one, if you go back and look at the running of the lambs video, where she was running in front of the flock, trying to stay ahead of them with the bucket. That's the same girl.
Yeah.
She got caught on the fence.
She's very tall, though, so it must have been down on her leg.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just went over her, because as I've said many times here, it doesn't really bother me that much.
And we're wearing loose pants.
And we're wearing loose pants, and we've got thick rubber boots on. And it doesn't really bother us.
Yeah, because your rubber boots can ground it.
Yeah.
Slightly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Heather and I were still in the pasture with the sheep, and Jennifer had left the pasture, and we're so paranoid that we're going to leave the fence off that we've tried to make it an automatic thing that the minute you go over the fence to get out of that pasture, you flick on the 2 switches that work, because they're right there. So Jennifer must have switched them on. Heather and I were still there. 5 minutes later, we go out. I go over it, and Heather yells, and she said, "The fence is on." I said, "No, it's not." And she goes, "I'm telling you, I just put my leg over it. It's on."
It's working.
And I said, "Great, it's working."
Safety first.
Yeah.
We were telling our mother this, who was visiting, and she's like, "Are you trying to torture this woman, or what?" Yeah. Well, we do.
Well,
as much as possible.
Sure. Anyway.
All right.
What did she learn today?
I don't know.
Oh, now she's helping us.
Oh. Yeah, well, that's an Ask Us Anything later.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
We'll get to answer that.
Okay.
We'll tell you how we tortured Heather this morning. It's a bi-weekly occurrence, or a semi-weekly.
Yeah.
All right. So the other thing is, because we didn't know we didn't breed on purpose, we had a mum breed that we would not have bred because she had no milk last year.
Right.
Conveniently, she comes up with twins again this year.
Yes.
No milk whatsoever.
She's ancient.
Way to go.
Yeah, she's one of the oldest ewes we have.
Thanks for the twins. So we have these 2 twins. We have to buy synthetic colostrum, which is dried cow colostrum, if you've ever wondered.
I think
it costs approximately $1 million a bag.
Yes, and it must be supplemented some differently, because it is specific for sheep or goats,
right?
But it's based on cow colostrum.
Yeah, some kind of formula, and it's supposed to help boost their immune system the way natural colostrum would, and we really hope it works.
Yeah.
So we've got these 2 lambs that have no means of getting any milk from their mom whatsoever, and we're feeding them. But that is a really intense job. Now, Merlin, we always suspected, was getting some milk here or there from other ones.
We held his mom. Yeah. In the first 24 hours, we held his mother so that she couldn't get him off. Yeah. So that he got his colostrum released.
So that was all good with him. But these 2 little ones were going to be a serious concern, and we're going to need to be fed every 3-4 hours.
No
Absolutely.
Milk. No milk.
Because she wasn't going to help at all.
Yeah.
So that's happening. In the meantime, there's a local family who tragically lost a 4-month-old goat they had named Hershey. And it was a very sad story, and everybody in the community was, of course, aware of it. And, it was a terrible thing that happened. And she's obviously going through the grieving process, and her kids are too, and whatnot. And I thought about reaching out to her, but I didn't want to do that because... who knows where people are in their grief and how they might be handling it. And sure enough, though, I put up a little post saying, if there's anyone who can look after 2 baby lambs that we really just don't have time to give the appropriate care and attention to, please contact us. A lot of you probably saw it.
Yeah.
She wrote to us.
Yeah.
Which
they
was
were 18
wonderful.
Hours old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were just both so happy that they were going to go to a very loving home, and that they were also going to make this woman's barn her happy place again, because it certainly wasn't after her little baby goat died.
Yeah.
And so that all worked out just beautifully.
Right.
And we have a couple pictures of them here with her daughters just as they're picking them up. And I guess, was it her son that came too?
No.
Or it was a
boyfriend.
Okay. So anyway, I think he seemed to really like the lambs too. So they were all here together as a family to pick them up.
Yeah.
And so they've been, she owns a property on the ocean. They've been to the beach. They've got a couple Maine Coon cats as best friends.
Yeah.
And the truth is, with the synthetic colostrum, they're probably better as pets.
Yeah.
Because it really affects their immune system and how their guts get started and all of that, like how their rumen biology and stuff is we call it started after birth. And so they'll do much better with a little bit more attentive care than they would get on a large farm with, 100 plus sheep running around and all the things that brings with it.
Right.
So we're super happy.
Yes.
And their names are, of course, Fleece and Harmony.
That's how she named them.
Two twin girls.
Yes.
Yeah. And they just took right to her family.
We did the colostrum part, so every couple hours for the first 24 hours. And it doesn't really, there's no benefit to feed colostrum after 24 hours because the lamb's gut can't absorb the antibodies anyway. So so we did that part just to get her off the hook for that. Yeah. And then she then they went to her farm. Yeah. And she's thrilled. And we're thrilled. And the little lambs she's sending us pictures. Yeah. And the mom, it's almost like she knew she couldn't look after them because she usually they make quite a big fuss when their lambs are when you wean them at 6 to 8 weeks or whatever. They make a kind of a big racket, but she seemed to be okay with it.
Pretty pragmatic, but she had left them alone and gone to eat, and I snatched them when she wasn't looking. So she may have come back and been like, oops. And she is an older girl. She might have been like, I feel like I left them here. Yeah. But I'm not sure, so maybe we'll just not say anything. Yeah. Maybe the farmers won't notice. But I lost the 2 lambs. Yeah.
Anyway, we're happy that she wasn't upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She barely, I think she was really like, shit.
Yeah. Oh boy. Did I have lambs? What did I have for breakfast?
So anyway.
I seem to have forgotten something. Did something happen? It was all a dream.
Yeah. So then she was kind of like, whatever. Just carry on.
Anyway, she's fine. So no need to worry about the fact, because we had some people that saw the Facebook post that were quite concerned that we had taken the lambs from the mother.
Right. Which is absolutely the best thing to do if the mother can't feed them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And because she has some problems with her udder, it's better that she just, had that milk dry up. And she's doing fine now. So
so that was why we say it feels like it's been 4 weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's a big intro.
I think that was it. Yeah. We do get to knitting eventually.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Well, you're going to talk about Merlin? Oh, wait, well, you already talked about him, but...
What else?
No, I guess that's it. Yeah. There's nothing else to say about him.
He's a dazzling ball lamb.
Yes.
He runs through the fence to get his milk, electricity or not.
Which is not good.
He's very robust.
Yes. And you can't let anybody go near the fence within earshot of Merlin because he right now he's small enough he can still get through if he really charges it, but we really don't want him to do that.
No.
So people are asking if they can go see the sheep, but you can't let them go because he'll
get through the fence and then he's loose.
Yes, and we really don't want baby lamb learning that it's okay to
because
go through the fence.
This is the other thing. We had our barn cleaned out this week, and he ran out right in front of the bobcat.
He did?
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so Ken scooped him up and gave him to Heather.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
There's some heavy equipment going,
It's not good.
He's big enough now that he's having a little trouble getting through.
Yeah, but not good for him to be testing it either. Yeah. So anyway, so that's it.
It's good times.
Yeah, good times.
All right. So the next thing we just wanted to mention that our forum, our new community forum, is up and running.
Yes.
There were a few little tweaks I had to make based on some feedback from everybody. There was things that weren't working, like I didn't have it set up for you all to be able to create a new topic or whatever. I think we've got all that fixed now. And it's a much better platform.
Yes.
Much better. You can tag people. You can answer people directly in line. We've got some of the topics set up. We'll continue to add to it. And
you can add topics.
Yeah, and we're still maintaining the Ravelry one.
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything to do with Ravelry, why we set up our own. It's just recommended that you have direct access to your own community without going through someone else's business, basically.
As the only option.
Yeah, as the only option. So, and I think we're going to really like this one.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can post pictures. It's easy to post pictures and stuff
much
like that.
easier.
So,
oh my gosh, that first one was terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is much better now. So if you tried the first one, you didn't like it, or you haven't gone in and tried it was cumbersome. Yeah, try our new one.
Yeah.
And we've created a thing in there which is like basically ask the community. So if you need knitting help with projects, like what to do when you don't like your rolled hem or whatever, we're hoping that everybody will help each other in there, and also we'll go in and help when we see something too. So go in and check that out. I think it's getting quite a bit of activity already.
Yes. And by the way, were you in there today?
No.
Okay. So yesterday, I think, we had a customer in the store that is going to knit the Sunday Cardigan.
Okay.
And in the Sunday Cardigan thread, she posted the picture of the 2 yarns that she bought.
Oh, okay.
It is phenomenal, the combination. It's Gail Aaron with Shadow Kid Silk Haze, and it would not have been a combination I would have picked out.
Right.
But wow, it's going to be stunning.
So is she swatched it already? You've seen them knit together?
No, she took a really good photograph.
Okay.
And she put them together on top of each other. But even when she was in the shop with it, I was like, oh wow, okay. Because I like it so much because it's not something I would have thought of.
Right.
But it was it's like spot on. It's going to be gorgeous.
Right. Very cool. So somebody had asked and asked us anything a couple of weeks ago, where can we convene with other Fleece and Harmony viewers? And that's definitely the spot. So we'll carry on with that. But if you haven't bothered to go in and check it out yet, you should. Yeah. And the next thing, lots of updates. I think this is going to be a really long episode.
We're warning you.
Yeah. So our Knit Night update. So I think we started to try to update on this last episode, and then we got off track.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if you noticed when we were watching, but we mentioned Knit Night and then didn't give any information whatsoever about what was the status of it.
Yeah.
So if you recall, when we were running the PEI Fiber Festival, we were going to do our special Monday Knit Night after the festival. It was an event separate from the festival. And we sold tickets in Eventbrite, and we were all just going to get together and knit. And of course, we had a number of really fun surprises planned. Wow. Most of those surprises involve travel, which of course can no longer happen. So we are still going ahead with the Knit Night Monday, September 28th, though.
Yes.
So if you have a ticket and you're in the Atlantic bubble, you can still attend. We're obviously going to have to cut it back to 50 people. We had originally allowed for 75.
Yeah.
There were 20 tickets sold at last I checked, so there's lots of spaces available. However, if you are outside the Atlantic bubble, you are not going to get in.
Yeah.
And so you should go in.
Unless you're here visiting.
Right.
Yeah. And have self-isolated.
Yeah. So you should go in and request a refund through Eventbrite, and then we will process it expeditiously so that you get your money back. And that is the easiest way, if you go in and request a refund at this point, because we are not canceling the event. If I were to cancel the event, I'm sure Eventbrite has something in place to give everybody a refund at once.
Right.
But because some people are still coming and some aren't, it's easier if you don't mind if you just go in and request a refund. And there actually are going to be some surprises at this one too. We're planning something really fun. There might be a time change.
There will be a time change.
So we're changing it to 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a reason for that.
Which we can't tell you.
But it's a very good reason. So you're going to have to trust us. But also, if you cannot attend at 2, please request a refund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might want to ask for the day off if you're working and can't come.
It's a good surprise.
Yeah, it's a really good surprise.
So
but
that's
we can't tell you about.
Right, unfortunately. But we probably can by next episode.
Yes.
So if you're on the
we'll
fence,
send out a post as soon as we can tell you.
Yeah, we'll update it in Eventbrite.
Yeah.
You're right. So just hang on. But if you absolutely can't do 2 in the afternoon, same message, go in and request a refund through Eventbrite.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And that's all the administrative stuff.
Right.
Gosh, usually we always hear like, oh, well, my husband watches because he loves the farm stories. Well, have we got an episode for you?
Yeah.
There's more farm stories coming later.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Okay, so whips and rips.
Yeah.
Whip and rip.
Well, there was nothing left to rip.
I ripped?
Yeah, but I didn't rip. So if you ripped, go ahead with your rip.
Okay, well, I didn't bring darkness because I haven't worked on darkness. I haven't worked on darkness because I got my Pabaigh. I'll try it. I can never get it right. I got my Pabaigh back to the spot where it was.
Yeah.
So I've started the front, which includes the sleeve cap, which wasn't as exciting as I was hoping for. I'm actually just kind of shaping and knitting up the front. And then I assume, because I never read the pattern, that I go and do something similar on the back, only slightly higher.
Right.
So, but look at this knitting. I mean, I went all out.
Yeah.
I knit so much that I couldn't properly practice my archery. So I took up kayaking, sort of, when Rachel invites me to go. And I've also taken up archery this summer, which if you haven't seen our stories every single day, you may have missed. So I'm now shooting arrows at things.
Right. We put she wanted to have a target, so we put some hay way back in the back field so that the target is, so she's pointing away from any animals, even if they're half a mile away.
Yeah, but I'm good. I don't miss the target now.
No.
Okay. I'll put up a little thing of my last practice. See? I'm getting it all in the circle.
Right.
And I had moved my distance back. I think I'm at 18 yards now.
Is that good?
I have no idea
about it.
But I started at like 3 yards.
Oh, okay. Well, so then that's great.
Yeah.
6 times better.
So I'm progressing nicely. So I do feel that I'm safe enough now to not accidentally have a stray arrow kill anything that we're responsible for, but it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
So that's where this is. I mean, there's nothing to talk about really. Of course, I love the pattern. I really want to get this done because it's short sleeves and I'd like to wear it this summer.
Yeah. It's just, I just want to see when it's all
about. So this is my 10 inches of body because again, even though I'm making the second size, I'm making the length, the third and fourth size length because I don't want it quite as cropped. Yeah. And I think I'm a pretty tall person. Like I'm 5'7". I don't know how tall Kate Davies is.
Yeah. She looks petite.
I think she seems very petite.
Yeah.
Probably not 5'7", but I have absolutely no idea. Yeah. Maybe someone will tell us.
Yeah.
If you've met her, let us know. We would love to meet her. Anyway, so that's Pabaigh. So my other thing that I've been working on, which it doesn't really look like I've been working on, but I have, is if you recall, I'm knitting a little baby set. What do they call that when you knit the baby a set?
Baby set?
No. It's like there's some kind of name for a set. I don't think it includes a sweater and a hat, but it's like a...
layette? No.
Yeah, like a layette. Yeah, so what's that?
A layette, I think, is the blanket.
Right.
Who knows?
Okay, we don't have babies.
Yeah.
I think I already told the baby backpack story, where the backpack was for the baby to go in, and I thought the baby wore the backpack. We don't know these things. Like, that backpack looks big for the baby. The baby goes in. The baby doesn't wear the backpack. Oh, I'm pretty sure I already did tell that.
Put him to work young.
I was like, is that supposed to be fun for the baby?
Yeah. Why do they want a backpack?
And it costs a fortune.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, the baby goes in the backpack. Okay. Oh, okay. Anyway, so this is my matching hat, which is called...
What kind of a hat is that?
I know, it's got very decadent ties.
That's really long.
It's 20 inches.
Wow. Okay.
I know. So this is called the Garter Stitch Earflap Hat, and it's by Melody's Makings.
Okay.
She has a ton of adorable baby hats. In fact, I just happened upon this one in the filters in Ravelry, and had I known, I would have gone right to her store and picked out something maybe a little bit more... I mean, it's fine, but I mean, she's got some really cute ones with bunny ears and things like that, so you should check her out.
Those are the longest strings I've ever seen.
I know. Well, I think when I block it, I'm going to curl them slightly.
Well, aren't you supposed to tie it under their chin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like, I'll show the picture from the pattern page, and she makes it work. Okay. I know they're a little bit decadent. Yeah. And speaking of that, I'm going to run out of yarn.
Okay.
So my idea was to get this and the sweater in the 6-month age out of 2 balls of brush fleece, and now I think I'm going to need a third. Doesn't it? But it's a lovely yarn for baby projects. I mean, I would never go back. Yeah. Baby projects from now on, brush fleece, end of story. Yeah. Unless you're someone who knows that you need superwash for your baby projects. Right. Because you have irresponsible friends who put yarn in the dryer. Yeah. And that's probably where this is going to end up, let's face it, but that's fine. It's the thought that counts. Yeah. So anyway, as you have seen from the photo I've shown, it's an adorable hat. And the size of the pom-pom is what kills me. Yeah. So by no means, I'm not fudging that pom-pom. Yeah. The pom-pom must be the size shown in the photo, or it's just not going to have the same effect for me. So I'm probably going to need a third.
Yeah.
But last time we had said you could knit a hat from the leftover from knitting the sweater, and you absolutely can.
Yes.
You just can't knit this hat.
Yeah.
Because
the strings alone.
I know.
Yeah.
It was tedious doing them. But it's a really fun, easy pattern. And you knit the 2 little ear flaps and kind of join it around and away you go.
Yeah. Cute.
And I would have had it done, but of course I didn't check my gauge, and the first one looked huge, like I could wear it.
But I can't believe, for all of the talk we talk about gauge swatches and checking gauge, that you would dare not. That you would admit. That's okay if you didn't do it, but I can't believe you admit.
Because babies grow.
How many?
So I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Except that it literally looked like I could wear it.
Unless it's too small.
It was not going to be too small.
Oh, okay.
But babies' heads are bigger than you think.
Yes.
I mean, anyone who's given birth is going to be like, oh, really?
That's easy for you to say.
Oh, you say so. But when I designed the Per Hats Love Hat, I learned that you don't add a lot of circumference to your head throughout your life.
No.
Like compared to your height and the length of your limbs and a bunch of other things.
You do add some.
You add some, but not as much as you would think.
Yeah.
Like they come out
well,
pretty
plus
large.
they're flexible too.
Yeah. So
they don't come out full.
They expand
round.
a little once born.
Yeah, they round up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
the grandmother of this baby was just here. Yeah. And I said, well, the first hat looked like it would have fit me. And she was like, have you seen the size of this baby? I know, but because I think the baby was 9 pounds or 8 pounds or something. Anyway, it'll be fine. This one's going to fit. Like I was 9.5.
Yeah.
So that doesn't faze me a bit.
No.
9-pound baby? What? Isn't that what they're all like? Anyway, I think I've got it all sorted out now. This will take me another couple hours to finish. In fact, if I've finished it before this goes live, I'll put the finished photo up. Because one fun thing I'm going to do is try to, when I do the giant pom-pom, somehow incorporate this pink ribbon into it.
Oh, okay.
Just to make them a matching set.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. I'm either going to wrap once the pom-pom with the pink ribbon, or I'm going to use the pink ribbon to finish off the pom-pom, or maybe tie it around the bottom of the pom-pom as part of the hat or something.
The little ball?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cute.
Just to make it matchy-matchy. Yeah. Because I love the matchy-matchy, especially when it's pink. That's all my knitting.
All right.
It's been busy. Between knitting and bottle feeding and archery and
all the
whatever else. Yeah.
Visits. Our parents came to visit.
Yes, we've had all kinds of visitors.
Yeah.
And
all right, so I'm going to talk about Sunday Cardigan.
Okay.
And then I'm going to talk about the Paisley after, because there's a whole big rabbit hole that I went down, because I'm going for rabbit holes.
So just to be clear before you get going, because I'm dying, is this the Paisley? This is it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my new swatch.
This is just all we have today about Paisley. Okay. Very good. Just checking.
I have to say, I fully intended to have the next swatch that I'm going to do done, or the Paisley started, but I really wanted to finish this.
Well, this is going to be great for the forum, because look at this. You thought you were just going to whip that up. You had it half done, swatching, and now look. It's a whole study.
Yeah, it is. It's a whole study.
Okay, well, this is great.
Okay, so the Sunday Cardigan. Okay, so here's
divine.
Yeah, it really is something. It's worth it maybe if I
put it on.
So I'm just going to talk about it first. So it's I'm doing the ribbing, so I'm almost done. I've got another this is supposed to be 11 centimeters of ribbing on the bottom, and I've got 6 centimeters done. So I'm almost done that part, and then I'll do the sleeves. So I'm just going to tell you what happened. It's based on Jennifer's experience, and we've had some other knitters.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and we had some other knitters that have visited the shop that had made it, that had the similar experience.
Took one for the team.
Yeah, you helped us all out. I don't know
by ruining yours.
See,
it's inside right.
What's going on here? Okay, here we go.
There you go.
All right. So I did my gauge swatch, and when I did my gauge swatch, I had 11 stitches for 10 centimeters, and the pattern calls for 12. And there's a note right on the pattern that says that you need to be really careful about the gauge, because it matters, because it's so chunky, and that it does add quite a lot. Or if you're short, it takes away quite a lot of girth if you want.
If you're missing a few stitches, or if you've added a few, it's a lot.
So if you've got 14 stitches instead of 12, it's going to be a lot smaller.
Wow. Yeah.
If you have 11 stitches instead of 12, it could potentially be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And So I got 11 stitches instead of 12. So I thought I would go down a size and knit the size smaller. So because I was going to leave the gauge the way that it was, because I liked it. It's a slightly looser gauge. You can almost see through it. It's a little bit like and the yarn, this Garfield Grizzly that I'm using is a little bit thick and thin as well. So you can almost see through it, but I was fine with it because it just felt nice and loose and soft. But the upshot of that, which I didn't even realize, is that it lets the Kid Silk Haze bloom even more because it's a looser knit. So I'm really happy with that because the fluffier the better as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, I went down a size. Then more and more people were giving feedback saying that they didn't have the 8 to 12 centimeters of ease that they thought they were going to get. So I panicked. And then I added stitches. So I'm going to just tell you where I added the stitches. So the shoulders, I had them on and it seemed fine. And it does kind of stretch quite a lot because you have this 4x4 ribbing around the yoke. So I wasn't so worried about the shoulders. I was becoming very worried about under here and at the bust. So I increased stitches to the next size up, which would have been my original size in the first place. And I did that. There's one round that you work just after the ribbing before you start the stockinette, and you're supposed to put the cast on for the sleeves and stuff like that there. So I added the stitches there. So it worked perfectly. It fits me exactly the way that I want it to fit. So I'm really happy that I did that. It might even be a little bit looser, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. So shall I try it on?
Yep.
Do we want to put it on right on the recording?
Just throw it on.
Okay.
So pretty. I love the colors. So this is a Night Without Stars in Garfield Grizzly, which we'll link to below.
Yeah, we have more.
Probably a couple more sweater quantities
and Turkish
of that.
plum.
Turkish plum is the Kid Silk Haze color, yeah.
And
it's just wonderful.
Yeah, it's so rich, and I'll just get you to hold that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, I don't want the stitches to come out. Of course, it's the wrong side here. It has to go over here to the back. Okay. All right. So the collar folds under, and you sew it.
Yeah, it makes a double cushy
collar. Make a
collar.
double cushy collar. And as you can see, I've got plenty of room.
So happy for you.
Yeah, I'm delighted. I'm so glad that I added back the stitches to make the size that I was supposed to make. So the moral of the story, though, is that this pattern is so straightforward that you have a lot of room to do whatever you want. And you can't, it's kind of, it was easy to add stitches. If you had understood what was going on, you would have been able to do the same thing.
I know, I probably should have checked my gauge, at least with what I had knit up to then, to get some idea of where I was at. But what really threw me off was the 10 centimeters of ease. Yeah. Which sounds like a lot, but it's not.
No, it's not. It's not as much as you think.
Yeah.
So this is going to be perfect. And I don't want to pull this off too much because I'm going to end up taking it off the needles. And the ribbing, now it's funny because the ribbing is supposed to be a little tighter. You go down a needle size, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm going to keep checking that because I don't want it to be too tight around the hips. But I think I've got actually extra room. It's hardly, it's not putting any.
But it's nice because that's the style you want it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to start mine. Like, I'm definitely knitting it again.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it in a gray.
I almost want to do another one.
It's terrible. We may just knit the Sunday Cardigan from now until retirement.
Yeah. I know.
It's that good.
It's fun to knit. It's very relaxing to knit. You can use some of the people that I've seen that have bought the Kid Silk Haze from us, but they're using other yarns that they just had in their stash. As long as you've got enough.
Yeah,
of
you
your
could
yarn.
use our Aran. You could use our worsted. You could use our Garfield Grizzly. Somebody asked, Garfield Grizzly is in between the two,
right?
And they're like, well, how can you use all three? Well, your fabric will just be denser or thinner.
Yes.
So if you use the worsted, our Selkirk worsted, it's going to be a lighter fabric. If you use the Garfield Grizzly, it'll be like this. And if you use the Aran, it's going to be really warm and soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very adaptable. You can't, as long as you just pay attention that you've got enough ease in it, you can kind of do whatever you want. And I actually, like I said, I like the fact that this batch of Garfield Grizzly was a little bit thick and thin. You cannot tell because the Sidsel case kind of hides everything. And then we've got a note from somebody today that's talking about, because there's Fruity Knitting just had an episode about marling with I forget the woman's name, but there's a book about marls that she did a whole study on that. And somebody wrote today on the forum, I think, about they're combining 2 different colors of Sidsel case with their base color. It's going to be gorgeous.
Absolutely. There's so much scope for the imagination to quote Anna Green Gables. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So
I know we clearly could knit Sunday cardigans until retirement, and they'd all be different.
Yeah, and fun.
There's lots of colors of Sidsel case.
Yeah. So
anyway, I'm thinking of doing mine in the Rowan Brush Fleece with 1 strand of
okay.
Sidsel case.
I was going to say, boy, that's going to be
fluffy flufferson.
Yeah. So now I've got all these balls around.
That's okay. Just throw it over there so you don't disturb the mic.
So that's that. So that'll be finished the next time. The next time we.
Oh, really? Now, whew, that's a big statement.
I really like knitting it. No, but I'm watching. I'm watching this new show on Crime. Bosch. It's not a new show, but it's a like a crime thing, and I can still knit this while I'm watching it.
Is it British?
No.
Oh,
it's American.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I might have to watch that then.
It's good. It's kind of like a complicated murder. It goes on for
cool.
The season is one murder.
Okay.
I was gonna say kind of like the whole killing thing, but it's not exactly the same as that. It's because it's it's a different style, but it's good. And what I'm loving about it is that it doesn't have any big stars in it.
Right.
So it's all character actors that you've seen 100 times on 100 different shows. So Ken and I, half the episode was like, what did he play in?
Yeah.
What did he play? And they're all like background people.
Yeah.
So there's one guy in the that has a small part in this series. And I was like, what did we see him in?
Yeah, that gets tricky at this age.
Yeah, but you could tell because of his voice, and we looked it up in the database or whatever, and he's been in more than 100 movies.
Oh, wow.
But
I love those kind of actors.
Yeah, but you've never, it's, security guard at the museum.
Right.
The, man walking behind.
Right.
He's been in 100 movies.
Wow, that's good. That's a good working actor.
Yeah, and it's good because they're good, and I thought, well, that's a good strategy because you've got actors that are good, but they're not their own personalities and all their history doesn't overshadow what they're doing on the show. So I actually like it.
Right.
Like that. It's one of
I'm good with it too.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I like British shows because they also have they've got their mega stars as well, but for the most part, like they have other people that are just good solid actors that are character actors. Yeah. So anyway, it's really good.
It's a good way to go. All right, good.
Yeah. So that's it.
Okay.
Off track.
Okay. So now Paisley.
All right, so what I'm going to do about Paisley is I'm going to show you the swatch. This is my second swatch, and I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Then we're going to cut away to a video because I want to explain some things in a separate video that you're not going to be able to really see from here. And then I'm going to come back after that, and we're going to talk about what I'm going to do next.
Okay.
Because there's another swatch coming.
Okay.
Based on what I learned.
So we've heard. Okay.
All right. So here is my swatch that I did, the second swatch. And as you recall, because my sweater was too small, I went up a needle size and I did this swatch as a needle size, at a size larger needle. And I was working away at it and I could see that the same things were happening, even though I was up a needle size. That's what happened before. This little grid part was getting tight and whatever. So what I did was I knit the bottom, and the difference, you can see the difference, and you'll see it up close.
You can actually maybe even hold it up closer.
You're going to be able to see it up close when I go to cut away. But this swatch was done with using the same needle size all the way up. I do two-handed color work. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I held the blue in. I changed the hand that I h for the 2 swatches. So we're going to go look at what that looks like up close. So here's my close-up of my swatch. Well, sort of close-up, I guess. So you're going to see, you can see it a little bit better than when I was holding it up. So on the bottom, so this is my little marker of where I changed something. And when I started on the bottom, I was holding the gray in my right hand and the blue in my left hand. And don't forget, just to remind, I think I say this anyway, but I'm a continental knitter. I used to be a right-handed knitter, and so I'm kind of ambidextrous with holding the yarns in either hand. And my tension is about the same whether I throw with my right hand or I do continental, but clearly my tension is not the same when I'm holding one strand in each hand. So from here down, you can see what happened. The blue is much looser than the gray. So clearly this was, I found this was, it's okay, but I didn't like the look of the motif. I felt it looked a little bit sloppy. So where I have this little white thread of Summerlight DK here is where I changed my knitting and I switched hands. So then the gray was in the left hand. And you can see that the motif is much clearer, but it's loose. So I wasn't 100% happy with either one of them. I actually prefer this waffly pattern like this, and I prefer the motif like that. So that's not really going to work. So in the Marie Wallen video, which we have a link below, something triggered in something that she said. And in Fair Isle knitting, what she would say is that the main color is the color in the row that you have the most stitches of, and then the alternate color would be the one that you have the least amount of stitches in. So if I was knitting the row where the blue stripe is happening, in that row, the blue would be the main color. In the row where the squares of the gray are, the gray would be the main color. So by following her instructions, I would change the hand that I was carrying the yarn depending on what the main color was for that row. So I think that's what I'm going to try on my next swatch, because that will give me one example, and then I'm going to do a second part of it as well to try something different, because and I said it incorrectly, it's actually Rock's Knit YouTube channel, which we put the links to all of the videos that I looked at. She really does, like I said, a deep dive all the way down to all the different styles and so forth. And I think that part of the problem here is this is not technically Fair Isle knitting either, because Fair Isle knitting, you have all that variegation happening, and here you don't. You have 2 colors. And then there's a couple thing with the floats as well. So I weave my floats, and that creates a different type of angle on the knitting as well. And I'm doing parallel floats, and Roxanne talks about doing rotational floats and parallel floats. So I think I'm going to experiment with those as well and see if I can have a swatch that I'm perfectly happy with, that is much more even, because I think part of my tension issues, you can see how in this case, even though this is much looser, when you get to the checkerboard pattern, all of your color changes are all stacked on top of each other, and that's creating a tightness there, which is affecting my gauge. So that's really all I wanted to talk about on this swatch. I will do another swatch, and I'm going to keep doing an example until I get something that I'm perfectly happy with. And we'll see, we're going to see what it comes out with. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a hybrid solution, based on the fact that you've got a motif in one part, and then you've got this very regular pattern on the other part of the panels, and it will dictate that I use a little bit of a different kind of technique. All right. So then that's it. So now what the truth of the matter is, like I said, is that I'm not happy with either one of these options. So something just is not working with this swatch.
Colorwork wise.
And I have a particular way that I want it to look, and I can't achieve it. So it's not about the needle size at this point. By the way, as I had mentioned last time, I think I already purchased extra yarn, so I can certainly go with a tighter gauge and do a bit larger size. I have no problem, but I'm not at that decision yet. So what's happened since I did this swatch is that I was sent a link because of 2 comments in our community, actually, which was great. So the first one was Marie Wallen has a How to Fair Isle video, which I looked. That was the lovely Diane that sent me that reference. And I looked at what she was doing on that. So if you want to check that out, it's a good video. It's nice and slow, so you can see exactly what she's doing. But it's not really how I wanted to knit this either. So then somebody else commented that about color dominance, that with Norwegian rotating floats, you don't have any color dominance. So we know that this is a minefield, the whole color dominance thing. So when I looked up, taking the advice of this person that commented, I looked up rotating floats. I actually got on Rocks, which is a YouTube channel.
Which would be like ROX Rocks.
Right. Okay. So Roxanne, and we'll put the link in below, did a whole masterclass on color dominance and knitting, stranded knitting and Fair Isle knitting. There's 3 episodes and they're broken up into chapters, so she's really well organized, I have to say. So one thing led to another. I ended up watching the whole three of them, and the conclusion of that is that Fair Isle is its own special classification of color work, because you have the background changes gradually, because the whole thing is that they're making shades of colors by using different colors in the product. So the background changes constantly for the most part. The motifs, the color in the motifs changes. It fades in and fades out. That requires you to knit a certain way to be able to keep the tension on that, and you're changing hands and things like that. Norwegian knitting, on the other hand, has mostly 2 color patterns and geometric patterns. And the problem, so what the conclusion is that the problem that I'm having is if I get it to look like I want it to look on the Paisley part, it's more like Fair Isle knitting, sort of, because you've got lots of one color and a motif with the other color. And the grid pattern I like is another technique. But when I do the grid pattern with the floats the way that I'm doing them, and I weave in my floats, then it gets too tight. So I've decided I'm going to have to do some kind of a hybrid, which I have an idea of what I'm going to do. So I will stay tuned for that. But the one thing, and Roxanne in her video talks about, she does it continental, she does it holding both yarns in the left hand, both yarns in the right hand, weaving in the floats, twisting the floats, Norwegian knitting, Fair Isle knitting. She covers everything with swatches and everything. So it gave me a lot of information. And then in the end, the truth is you may have to know how to do more than one type of color work.
To do a sweater like this. Because in your ribbed band, it's more transitioning through a bunch of colors.
Everything was fine.
Oh, okay.
You remember how gorgeous it was? If you can remember.
Yeah, no, I can remember.
The fabric was beautiful.
So in that case, the 2-handed color work was just fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it tight though?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was perfect.
Okay.
And she talks about color dominance, and she said people say that it's just your tension, but she doesn't agree. She thinks that the actual technique of the way you and she proves it. She does a swatch showing how it works. So that's a whole big debate, I know. So I'm going to do another swatch, and I think that the answer for me, because of the way that I knit and the way that I do my floats, is some kind of a combination of the Fair Isle method and then I'll use rotational floats. So Fair Isle if I remember correctly from that video, tends to do twisting the floats, and then weaving is the other. But I might do a combination of both. And since I've done all of them in the past, because I used to be a right-handed knitter, then I switched to continental. I was carrying my both yarns in one hand at one time, and then I switched to doing two hands. So luckily I've done most of the combinations, so I'm going to be able to do it. And I don't want to make people afraid, but it's you just have to the moral of the story is you have to figure out what works for you. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is that it's my personal taste that I prefer one look over the other, because the color dominance doesn't really matter if you like the way the motif
looks knit that way.
Yeah. And she does examples with the motif with different dominants all in a line, so you can really compare. And it doesn't matter. It's not one's wrong and one's right. It's just the way what you prefer.
Mm-hmm. There's quite a difference, though.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Neat. Well, I mean, if you want to become a better knitter, it's certainly a worthwhile exploration.
Yes.
I mean, imagine what an expert you'd be on this by the time you work through all of this project.
Yeah.
And you have another one coming.
Right.
And this will make for great stuff for the forum, too, because, I'm sure some of you watching have your own experiences with knitting a Sidsel kit and what you decided and how you did it.
Yeah.
How you chose to complete it.
And, I was getting discouraged. It's hard for people to believe, I'm sure, because we make so many mistakes and just keep going.
Right.
But I was knitting this, and I was like, I'm still not happy, and I don't know how to fix it. I really didn't know how to fix it. And then I watched the thing, and it gave me hope.
Excellent. Well, and now we're going to pass all that learning on to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Roxanne is.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what, there's no use for me to do a tutorial on that, because she did such a good job that it's really worth
so the link is in the show notes below or the description box, or I think you can hit the title of the video and it'll all drop down and you can find the link in there to watch Roxanne Rocks.
Yeah.
Rock on.
Rocks.
Rock on about colorwork.
Yeah. It's really good.
Okay. Go Roxanne.
All right. So that's it.
That was a lot of talking.
Who would have thought you could spend all that time talking about a swatch? But it's really,
if you're really into it.
Yeah. I really want it to be nice.
You want this project to be nice. Oh, I thought you meant in the video.
No.
Tempted to get angry.
I'm really motivated to do a good job on this sweater.
Okay.
Because then I have the next one coming.
Right. And yes, of course, it has to be perfect. Ish. Okay. So, wow. Okay, that's good. So that's fascinating. I'm glad it's you and not me. Okay. So it's shop update time.
Okay.
So first of all, I think we've said we're obviously getting lots of Rowan yarns in. Felted tweed is our big selection to invest in for fall, because there's just a landslide of colors available in this yarn, and we want to carry them all for you so that when you pick a felted tweed project, you know where you can get all the colors. And so we have new shades.
Yeah.
Okay. And
normally we would show them here.
Right. But they just arrived probably since we've been sitting here.
Yeah.
So I'll do a little slideshow showing the new shades. And how many new ones are there? There's 4 or 5?
Oh, no, more than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know how long we should talk to carry on the slideshow, but I'll make it fit. Okay, so those are the new shades of Rowan Felted Tweed we have, but of course you can check them all out by clicking the link in the show notes below.
And as always, if there's a shade that we don't have yet and you want us to order it next, then just let us know, because we're placing orders all the time.
Helps us decide what to get in next. If you tell us you need something, we will absolutely get on that.
Yeah.
All right, so the other thing is, since last recording, these little beauties have arrived.
Yes.
And I know it's hard to buy something sight unseen. Quite a few people did pre-order them, but I think we love the book even more than we thought we could possibly.
We kind of thought, okay, saltwater.
I mean, like, there's chickens in it. You know what I'm saying?
Saltwater mittens and saltwater classics. They knocked it out of the park with both of them. And then this one came, and I have to say, I was kind of thinking, like, what could they do next? Now it's gifts, but what could they... Anyway, it's fantastic.
There's some adorable, wonderful patterns in here.
Yeah.
And as always, the book is just a delight. All the little stories and things and the photography, and it's just... I gave it to someone as a gift, and they sat down in bed that night and just read it through.
Yeah.
Because it's that type of a knitting book. the whole series has just been amazing. Now we're thinking, what next?
I'm sure
there's some slippers in here I absolutely have to make.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the hat that we had shown during the preview last time.
Just well done.
I don't know what else to say about it. This is
Christine
a
and Shirley.
perfect... The book itself is a perfect gift for a knitter who likes to knit gifts, because there's lots of mittens and hats and small items in here that you could knit for a person that you really cared about who wouldn't put it in the dryer. And it is done using Briggs & Little yarn again.
Yep.
We tend to use our Selkirk worsted if we're knitting something from this book.
Yes.
But more than happy to support Briggs & Little too. They're a New Brunswick mill, and they deserve all the credit for getting involved in these books.
Yeah.
And so you can buy their stuff or you can buy our stuff, but definitely buy the book.
Yes.
That's the moral of that story.
I hesitate to say this because nobody will believe me. We really trusted the fact that it was going to be great, so we have lots of them.
Yeah.
So
yes, we will not run out of these.
No.
Within the next month, at least.
Yeah, unless you all go right now.
Yeah, because I know sometimes when we say that, people will order 2 or 3 of them at a time, which you should, because they are wonderful for gifts.
Yeah, yeah.
So
people are coming into the shop to get it too.
Yeah, so this is going to be the knitting book gift for the holidays of 2020. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and it's lovely. So that's now ready to ship.
Yes.
So if you order it, it goes out. Yeah, right away. Okay. Well, depending on what else you want in your box.
Yeah.
So that's that. So we also have the Swift/Yarn Buddy thingamajig back in stock.
Yeah. So
okay.
The Fox Mountain Swift
so
Yarn Buddy
people
combo.
have tried like the dickens to get us to make a waiting list for those things, and we just have never done it. Yeah. We apologize. That's why we thanked you at the beginning for being so patient and kind.
Because we don't really know like how much how many he can make. So we got 10 of them in stock. Okay. So we've got 10,
that's a good amount.
10 more. So that's more than we've had in the past.
Right. So the link to those is below. Mm-hmm. Still working on trying to get a video about how to use it. Right. We have so much to do. Yeah. To keep everybody informed and do all the things that we want to do with this channel. And we are working on trying to invest in it a little bit more, but it's a slow process. Yeah. And there's really only one of us who can do all that technical stuff with the YouTube thing and the cameras and stuff. So
it's not me.
No. So we're trying to get that and keep this going in the forum and stuff. So we're getting kind of busy on the community front, and it's wonderful. Yeah, it's great. So, but if you've already heard about the Yarn Buddy or Swift, and you missed out last time, or you're one of the people who begged us, we're very sorry, to create a waiting list, and we haven't. They're up now. Link in the show notes. 10 available. We won't mind if you pause the video and go reserve yours now. Yeah. And then come back and watch the rest later. Yeah. We understand. Okay. It's necessary. So that's that. Mm-hmm. So we also are in love.
We're very excited.
We're very excited. We're in love with these little things, which we've had for a while now. Yeah. But we got some new ones, and they're noisy.
So there's a Canadian company called Firefly Notes, and she makes these beautiful resin tin boxes.
Poured resin. Yeah. By Firefly Notes. Small batch design inspired by history. So she uses like historical textile patterns and things in the actual pictures on the front.
Botanical drawings. Yeah.
And
Jennifer had to...
I had to have this one because I'm a pineapple nut. Yeah. I'm nuts for a lot of things, but pineapples are one of my favorite things. Yeah. And this says sweet on the inside. Mm-hmm. So cute. And you could put anything in this tin, but we're loading them for you with T-pins. Yeah. So you get 20 T-pins when you buy the giant pineapple. Yeah. And then these small ones, we put opening stitch markers in. Right. I thankfully don't have them in here, so not to make the noise. But this is a new pattern we got with little peaches on it. Mm-hmm. We've not had this one before. And then these we were really excited to get back. I guess I have to take them out, do I? Oh, it's going to ruin it. I don't want to take them out. The picture's online. Okay. Or maybe I can show it here.
It's the bees.
It's 2 little varieties of bees. Mm-hmm. And these come with 10 stitch markers each. Yeah. In them, and they're just adorable. I love the round format. I really do. Yeah. Because most of the ones we have are the sliding pillbox type. Yes. I mean, even the fact that they're like an old pillbox just gives me the... Yeah. Did everyone watch Little House on the Prairie? Yes. I could go on. Michael Landon, right? Anyway,
Michael Landon.
I know. He didn't live very long. No. 57 or something?
Yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah.
don't know that he was that much of a nice person in real life.
Yeah,
but
that's what I heard.
Did have a lot of wives.
Yeah.
Like quite a collection.
Oh, well.
And
still
children.
Pa. He's still Pa.
He's still Pa to us.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Big fan.
There's a
your
really,
kids, right?
really good, it was PBS special about the celebrating the music of Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Okay.
And it's all old fiddle tunes and stuff like that because Pa played the fiddle.
Which, of course, if you've watched him play the fiddle on camera, he didn't really.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but
he was a good actor.
The real life Pa did.
Yeah.
And Laura Ingalls' father actually did, apparently. And they did the research. It was a really good thing. And there was Often a Stilly Night is one of the. There's a singer that sings that song.
Yes, I know. Ashford, what's her name?
Yeah. Shepherd?
Ashton. I don't want to get it mixed up. Ashton Shepherd?
Yeah, I don't want to. I think
so.
Yeah. Anyway, it is fantastic. Yeah. And the whole thing is really good. They have different musicians and stuff like that.
Did you know our parents play that video of her singing that at their house all the time?
Yeah, that's where I saw it.
Oh, okay. But it's from the PBS special?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, this is all coming together.
Yeah. So Dad actually showed me the special.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're providing just a world of entertainment for you to look into this episode.
Yeah, and I wish I could really remember what the exact name of it was, and I don't know if you can still see it on TV. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's I think they launched or they released the music.
Okay.
To that special, but in the special, it's all the live performances.
Okay. But that's a vocal performance. So did his songs Pa also sing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think it's based on the song, the tunes and everything that Laura talked about. Her father playing the fiddle.
Okay,
I think
but it
that's
had
the
words
premise
to it. That one particular one, but could also be played on his own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a well-known,
old-timey fiddle tune.
Yeah.
Early Americana kind of.
Yeah.
Thing?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll try to find it.
Yeah.
Somewhere online, and if I can, we'll put the link to that in the show notes, and we can all go down memory lane about Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, it's very well done. So it's,
I miss those kind of shows.
Yeah.
If I had kids, I'd be like, where's the Little House on the Prairie? What are we watching here? What is this nonsense?
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't cope.
The
YouTube channels and stuff that they watch.
Yeah.
Crazy making.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess I'm old.
Yeah.
Very.
All right. So
final thing.
Yes.
Now these we underordered.
Yes.
I don't know why we did that.
Well, because we don't know.
We don't know. How many do we have?
12.
12 measly Firefly Notes Advent calendars.
Yes. So Firefly Notes also does stitch markers.
It's these people again.
Yeah, exactly. So they Sandy made an advent calendar, and to be honest, we didn't really know. I was like, how do you do stitch markers in an advent calendar? I had no idea what was actually involved, and I've seen the stuff on Instagram and everything when they're talking about mini skein advent calendars and stuff, and I was like, I don't get it.
Typically not our jam.
Yeah, how do you do that? I don't know. I had no clue. So we ordered 12 just because we love her stuff. Another person who we know, you can rely on it being good quality. Mm-hmm. That's everything she does is exquisite.
Yeah.
Should have known better.
But
there's a little, and we can't show you anything because there's a little sticker in the back that says no peeking
until December. So we're not going to open it. You're going to have to take our word for it. And since there's only 12 of them, probably 12 of you will at least trust us that much.
Yes. So the way that it works, if there's other people that are clueless like we were, is that each of these squares that you see is perforated.
Yeah.
And when you open up each of the squares, there's a little stitch marker.
Yeah.
Down
in
behind.
Lovingly individually packaged and very cute.
Yeah.
And curated, obviously hand selected by Sandy.
Yeah.
So we're probably one of the first shops, certainly in Canada, to actually get these.
Yeah.
Not to talk it up anymore, because I know they're going to be gone within an hour, and we already apologize. We're trying to get more.
Yes.
We're trying to get more.
We begged her. But
because this is another amazing gift.
Yeah.
And we're not usually the type of people who buy gifts this early or anything like that, but this stuff just keeps appearing in the shop that would make excellent gifts for knitters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can't help it. We don't mean, it's like not even Halloween yet. Not even close. Not even Labor Day. But we're putting these up now because we have them, and why not?
Yeah.
Because we're excited, to be honest.
Yes.
We have no patience.
We couldn't believe it when we unpacked the box.
Yeah, so we did open one up and take a look inside just to make sure that, well, not to make sure, but just because we couldn't help ourselves. But they're really well done and they're really cute. So these are up.
Yeah.
And don't hate us.
Yeah.
We have 12.
Yeah.
So sorry. Trying to get more. Definitely. We'll let you know as soon as we get more.
Yeah, we're not, we've got a 50-50 chance, I would say. Maybe.
Okay.
Like, it's not looking that good. So
for us getting more.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway,
again, apologies in advance.
Yeah.
The good news is that anyone who joins us as a viewer between now and Christmas will know nothing of this.
Yeah. They won't be disappointed.
We can't possibly be blamed during hot holiday season.
No, that's right.
Because they'll be long gone by then.
Yeah.
So this is just a little blip.
Yeah.
A little time capsule in a future time capsule about advent calendars.
Right.
Okay, so...
And the Cocoknits blocking
Yes.
kit.
The other shop update is that is back in stock, and those were back ordered for a while. Mm-hmm. So we haven't had them for a while. There is a special shipping rate attached to the blocking kit if you go in to order it, because it's so big, we can't possibly ship it under our regular shipping policy. But if that's been something you've been after, because there's certain people that really, really want that, and we frequently run out of it.
Yeah.
But, and then I couldn't order anymore, and now they're finally back in.
Right.
So couple have already sold because of the newsletter.
Right.
And if you haven't signed up for a newsletter, good reason to do that. You can sign up for it on the website.
Yeah.
And the Cocoknits blocking kit, which is wonderful, is back in stock as well and listed. Right. Okay. And then something that's still on pre-order is the Cocoknits needle gauge. Right. We already can't get more.
Yeah.
So I knew that was going to be a huge hit, and it was obviously a huge hit.
And we ordered
ordered a lot,
yeah.
But they're going very, very fast, and I think people are thinking of those as gifts, which they would be an amazing gift for a knitter again. Mm-hmm. So if you've been on the fence about that, I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit tight getting those very soon, because at the moment stores cannot order more of them.
Right.
Luckily, we went whole hog and got quite a few of those, but I don't think we have a ton left.
No,
because I think people are getting them for gifts.
I have to say, I mean, thank goodness the support that we've been getting from our community, as far as shopping goes, has been fantastic.
Yeah,
and we're really ramping up as fast as we can to keep it going, but it's a little bit hard to keep up.
Yeah, but you don't know. We love the Cocoknits accessory roll. Yeah. Now, it's a bit of an investment. Yeah. We bought tons of them. Yeah. They're still sitting out there. Yeah. A lot of them. Yeah. And it's not because they're not wonderful, but maybe they're just got overlooked or whatever. And so those, we really went whole hog. We've had tons. We've never had to reorder them since. No. So you really don't know, and it is an investment every time you want to stock up a bunch of inventory in something, and we don't know what will hit or what not. Yeah. Believe me, we wish we had 1,200 wool blankets. I wish we had 2,500. So it's a bit of a guessing game. Yeah. So on top of all the hats we wear, we're also wearing the buyer hat. Yeah. And that is a professional job that some people do in department stores, and we don't have a clue about it. Yeah. So we're trying to, and we're curating all the stuff, and we're hoping that you like everything we pick, but you don't always, and so we just do the best we can, and we hope that there's more supply available after. Yes. There will not be in the advent calendar. Yeah. Yeah. So the other thing is that even though we're buying from people that we trust, because they always do good quality stuff, is that we always really want to see things live first. Yeah. So because it might just not be our jam. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So. All right, so that's that. So, sorry, that was supposed to be talking about the Cocoknits needle gauge. Okay. We have a few left, but they're still in pre-order. They have not actually arrived yet. They're not ready to ship, but I'm just giving you the heads up. If you're on the fence about it, now's the time. Right. The little suckers are going fast, and we can't reorder at this point. Yeah. Unless that got fixed in the last few days. I don't know. I'm sure Cocoknits is going furiously getting more themselves. Yes. So that's all good. All right. So now we were having a little chat this morning about the time your car broke down on the way to the cottage. Yes. This is another Ken story. Poor Ken. Ken's been the star of a lot of stories. He's
meeting people in the now they're looking knowingly at him. Sometimes when we go some places, you can tell when people watch the podcast because you can see that now he's getting the same
right.
thing.
Oh, it's Ken. Ken from the nude beach.
Yeah.
Okay, so he
wasn't really very happy about that.
So when we were younger, we still have it, but we used to go to the cottage, or certainly you did every weekend.
Yeah.
And it was a 3.5 hour drive.
From Halifax.
Wow.
Yep. It's on the eastern shore of Nova Scotia.
Okay.
In Port Hilford area. And it's where they make the fog for the rest of the country. That's what we say.
Yeah. It all comes out of Port Hilford.
Yeah.
So
it's very
you
foggy.
had what? A Hyundai Pony?
No, it was a...
Excel. No, what?
Yeah. It was an Excel.
Okay.
That's right. So the car,
Back when Hyundai had just come to Canada.
Yes. So I always had a company car.
You were an early adopter.
Yeah, we had my company car, and then Ken had a car, and it was the Hyundai Excel. And it was it literally sounded like a lawnmower. It was like a micro subcompact.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hyundais have come a long way.
Yes, they have.
A long, long way.
Yeah, they really have.
Yeah.
So it's not a thing about. So anyway, we're driving to the cottage, 3.5 hours, and are we talking about the time that it just stopped, or are we talking about the time the engine caught fire?
Well, I want the time when you were most angry.
Oh, okay.
I think the fire was later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it caught fire, and that was the end of the car.
Yeah, that was it. The engine.
That's how. If you were
wondering, I was also mad that day because the oil was supposed to be checked, but it wasn't checked. So
that's very un-Ken-like.
Yeah,
well, this is how he got how he is, I guess. He's learned these lessons along the way.
Yeah. So we were driving at the cottage. So the cottage is literally half a mile away from God Help Us. That's what we used to say.
It's my favorite line from Thelma and Louise. Well, we're not in the middle of nowhere, but we can see it from here.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So there's lots of areas there that are like that. And garages and, whatever are kind of few and far between.
Right.
So we're driving the car, and I forget exactly what went wrong with it. It was making a funny sound. Oh, now once we got it fixed, I remember what it was. So it was making a funny sound, and it really didn't sound like we should go further with it. So we traveled those back roads enough that we knew that there was an auto body guy that was on the road that we were on.
Like Carl's garage kind of thing.
Yeah. But, when you see things like all the time, you don't really know how far away you are from them. And, what's a mile or 2 kilometers or whatever? It seems like nothing when you're driving.
Country roads.
Yeah, country roads, whatever. So I said, I'm going to start walking.
To go get Carl.
To go find Carl. In the garage. And see if he can at least drive back and figure out what's wrong with the car. So what would happen is every time you could go a certain distance, and then all of a sudden the engine would go like that, like it was going to fly apart. So it was really, really hot. Really hot, and we kind of were fighting because we were both frustrated, and tempers were flaring. The temperature was like 30 degrees.
Okay, well, you weren't fighting; you were both agitated.
We were agitated. Yeah, we really rarely fight actually, but we were not happy.
Not on your best behavior.
Not on our best behavior. The pavement was literally so hot that you could feel your feet, like your shoes sinking into it as you were walking, because I started walking. Right. Because this was before cell phones and whatever, and we were stuck on the side of the road, and what we were arguing about is, well, we can't just sit here because nobody's going to come to help. Right. Nobody was going by. Right. So I said, I'm going to start walking.
This is a miserable trip.
Yeah, you can't start walking. You don't know how far it is. Well, I know it's down here somewhere. We're just going to start walking. So I would walk.
Because no cell phones.
No. Yeah. So I started walking, and I would say I was marching. Like that.
Which, thank goodness for all your pipe band experience.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going down the road like that, and then all of a sudden I would hear wee coming behind me. So Ken decided that the engine had cooled down enough that he could drive. but he didn't want to stop where I was. So he would...
Because he thought he wouldn't be able to get started again.
Yeah. So he would drive past me a half a mile. So now I'm by myself.
And you're behind the car.
And I'm behind the car. So, and I caught up to the car, and he rolled down the window and said, just get in and we'll drive. And I went, don't talk to me. We're not going to be able to drive. And then I was even more motivated to go. Drive another half mile. Then I was really like I could have walked 500 miles at that time. Anyway, eventually I can't even remember if somebody came by.
They must have.
And
you couldn't have walked all the way to the garage.
It could have only been like 2 miles. I don't know how long it was. Anyway, we did get Carl, and Carl saved us, but it was quite... The marriage survived the incident, but it was really something.
Yeah, and so then our mother had another incident on the same road.
Yeah, well, different road, but in the same area. Yeah.
So our mother was eating and driving.
Yes.
And this will be funny for anyone who's living away.
Yes.
And if you aren't from the Maritimes,
right,
there are these candies, which are the most, in my opinion,
I love them.
It's kind of like the raisins in the butter tarts thing. They're called chicken bones. First of all, right there, you've lost me. Okay, so there's this. They're shaped like, not really like a bone, like a little long skinny thing.
Yeah.
Now get this. There's cinnamon hard candy on the outside.
Yeah, pink.
With pink, like this color.
Yeah.
With chocolate fake bone marrow in the center.
They're great.
Chicken marrow. Chicken bones. That's what they literally call these candies. They're god awful.
I love them.
Cinnamon and chocolate, first of all.
It's delicious.
No. Anyway, our mother had a bag of these, and they tend to stick together. And
once they're open.
Once they're open, the moisture. Who made them?
Ganong.
Ganong makes them. Is
they're
that
famous.
The only chicken? I went to the
factory. Yes, I went to the factory and I saw how they make them, and they're still using the same like marble slab that they've had. I think it was 105 years
to make the chicken bones.
Yes.
Are you allowed to say how they make them? Or is it proprietary?
Well, it's candy making 101. Right. It's not really. It's I don't know if it's. I don't
it's like the caramel secret. How do you get the marrow in the chicken bone?
You roll it. So you the hard candy, they mix it by hand. Well, there's this kind of paddle thing that they use on this huge big slab. I think it's marble, and they work that candy till it cools off, like you would make a taffy or whatever. Except it's hard candy,
right?
And then they roll it into a big tube, and the chocolate goes in the center, and then they roll and keep rolling and stretching and rolling and stretching, and then they just cut it. So the ends that it look like little flattened ends
from the cutter.
From the cutter, because you just cut off all of it.
It's like a machine that cuts them.
It's like it's extruded, but they're still doing it by hand, I think.
Wow.
On this slab, or at least that's what
they
told
bother.
I love them.
Oh, they're disgusting.
They're delicious.
Anyway, back to the car story. So our mother's driving along. The chicken bones were stuck together. She's fiddling with them and trying to drive. And our mother, as a driver,
a little bit
never
iffy.
Great.
No.
Iffy at best.
Squirrel!
Yeah, I'm amazed our father allowed her to teach us to drive. Actually,
Yeah.
I went to classes, but she taught you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you hit a stop sign on your driving test?
Yeah, I still passed them.
How did you pass? You hit a stop sign.
Because it was like that really wet snow. And I went to put on my brakes, and the car, I broke, like put on the brakes in the right amount of distance from the stop sign, but the car just kept going.
Wow. Well, I failed because I parked next to a fire hydrant, but you passed and you hit a stop sign?
Yeah. I took it in the standard too.
I did too.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
I had to take it 3 times. Anyway, I'm the one who had classes and you didn't. Anyway, our mother went under, the chicken bones fell off the seat.
No, she was just digging and they were stuck together.
And they were stuck together, and then she went over on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And then overcompensated, and then overcompensated again, and went off through a bunch of spruce trees and rode off the car.
Yes, she was not injured really.
No.
She had a little bit of a stiff neck.
And her little Yorkshire Terrier was in the back. In his kennel, going like this, and he was fine.
Yeah, and then some guy driving a Corvette thought he saw something.
But wasn't sure because it went like a UFO across and back.
Yes.
Never overcompensated.
Saw all the branches were broken, and luckily he stopped and helped her right away.
Right.
But they had to get the tow truck and everything. But at least he was right on site to make sure she was okay and everything. So
wow.
So
good times going to the cottage.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Corvette.
It's all for a chicken bone.
Yeah.
A disgusting candy.
Delicious.
You couldn't force me to eat it. It's the only thing that would make them better is if there were raisins in the center. Seriously?
No, that would ruin them. They're perfect just the way they are.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you've had chicken bones, I'm gonna guess that that's a very divisive topic. The chicken bones.
I think everybody loves them.
No, they really don't. It's not possible.
So if this week's comments would be about your favorite childhood candy.
There's nothing as weird as that anywhere in the world.
Well, Newfoundland has got some really good ones.
Weird candies?
Yeah, they've got some really good ones. So we're gonna wait for the Newfoundland people to.
Now's your chance, Newfoundland.
Yeah,
now's your chance to shine.
Yeah,
there's like the saltwater.
I think there's like things like spearmint gobs and all kinds of stuff. That's a candy I don't like. A spearmint.
I don't know what a spearmint gob is. It sounds like, when your toothpaste overflows because somebody left the cap off.
That's kind of what it looks like.
I bet.
I don't know if that's the real name. I can't remember. So don't write about that. But tell us the real name. All right,
let us know.
Yeah.
All the better. Send us some.
Anyway,
well, not those.
There is. Well, if you like spearmint flavor,
I'm not a big fan either.
No,
tea is okay.
I love wintergreen and I love peppermint, but I'm not a big fan of like those green mint leaves.
Peppermint is my go-to. Oh yeah, those green jelly things.
Yeah. That's
not what this is.
No.
What's a spearmint gob then?
It's hard.
It looks like white toothpaste?
No, it doesn't. It's just like a gob. Like around, as I recall, around.
And is gob a real word or is that a maritime thing?
I don't know. I can't remember if that's really the name.
Okay, well somebody will tell us.
Something like that.
It's a Newfoundland thing. How do you know it's from Newfoundland?
Because Dad used to bring it home.
But yet I am unfamiliar with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously blocked it out.
I don't know.
It sounds possibly worse than the chicken bone.
No, well, if you like spearmint, it's probably it's heavily flavored with spearmint.
I like those Laura Secord frosted mint things.
Yeah.
The white chocolate mint things.
Yeah.
They've changed a little over the years. I hate that.
Yeah.
When a company has something that's amazing and then they tweak it or make it
fakey,
worse or cheaper usually.
Yeah.
No, can't do.
Right.
Wouldn't buy them.
All right.
Okay, so that's a good ramble. Okay, so ask us anything. I think we got a question that we'd already gotten just a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Okay, so this was sent in by Midnight Farm. I remember to get the name this time.
Okay.
And they asked if the fleece changes as the sheep grows, which yes, it does. It gets coarser. It can change in all kinds of ways.
Think of baby hair versus adult hair.
Depends on the feed a lot too, like if it's been a rough year or not.
Yeah. So
we already answered that question a few episodes ago, but we're happy to answer it again. And they also asked if we keep wethers or intact males on the farm, and no, we only keep wethers.
We really wish we only had wethers.
Yeah, we had the one intact male, and that was bad enough.
Yeah.
So any males that are kept on the farm would be castrated males.
Yeah.
Now the husbands have all left the room.
Yeah.
And the thing that you were going to mention earlier was that Heather was helping us do that this week.
Yeah, she wants to learn everything.
Yeah, and it sounds terrible, but it's not as bad as you think.
No.
And we won't get into the details of it because unless you're a farmer, you could never understand that it's not as horrific as you think.
Yeah.
And we do give them a little long-acting painkiller to go along with it.
That's right.
Yeah. Basically just cut off the circulation.
So there are several methods.
Yeah.
Some are less invasive than others.
Yeah.
And we use one of the less invasive.
And we try to do it in the kindest way possible. And we give them an NSAID or NSAID, like an aspirin type thing.
Yeah.
And
which is long acting.
Yeah. So that's sort of the best way to do it, but it absolutely has to be done.
Yeah.
You cannot have a bunch of male lambs running around with their sisters.
No.
Right.
Or else you end up with, you might get lambs in August or something.
Who knows when. So that's the answer to that question.
Yeah.
We have usually 1 or 2 rams that are working rams, and then if we keep males for fleece, they are wethers. Yeah. Absolutely.
And they can go with the girls all they want.
I think you'd have to be nuts to have a bunch of intact male sheep running around for no reason.
Yeah. I don't know why you would do that.
And of course, horses, you would rarely have stallions either. It's actually very dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, there are things that people don't necessarily agree with for humane purposes, and don't debate about that in our comment section because it can get quite heated.
Yeah.
But if you're an actual farmer, you are not leaving a bunch of intact male sheep running around.
Yeah.
Unless you're crazy.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're more aggressive.
Yeah.
The same reason why you would do riding horses and not keep them as stallions. All right, so that's Ask Us Anything. That was it for this time. Yeah. And the only other question we got was, could we add the website to the top of the Ravelry group info so that it's always there? Oh, I did it too. How'd you do it? In the introduction?
Yeah. Well, and then a short description at the top.
Did we add it twice now?
I don't know. See it. Oh.
Anyway. It's there now.
All right.
And did you hyperlink it so it's a direct link so they can go right to it?
I think so.
Oh.
Maybe I didn't.
Maybe I just did it in the Ask Us Anything thread.
Oh.
And you did it in the main area.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In the main area.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, we got you covered.
Yeah.
I think you did it correctly then, and I wasn't thinking because I just did it in the intro to that thread.
Yeah.
But now it's in both places.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. All right. Is that everything?
I think so. I'm getting very relaxed sitting in these chairs.
I know, we were up front and then you moved and then I didn't want to be up and you were back and I can't believe you like chicken bones.
Yeah.
You think you know a person.
You know. I think there's lots of stuff you don't know about me. My jokes and my...
I've definitely heard the joke before, which people love, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Joke.
Oh, you know what the interesting thing about the joke was? You have to look at the joke on the net is that joke apparently is told in different countries with different names.
And different vegetables or fruits?
No. Oh, okay. I think it's always potatoes.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's different vegetables and fruits. I don't know. But I can't remember. Somebody said that they tell that same joke in Sweden, but the names, and I forget what the names were that she said it is. It's like Swedish names, of course, or whatever. So it's funny.
Do you think they eat a lot of potatoes in Sweden?
I don't know.
Do they eat potatoes all over the world?
Maybe they put something else in it. I don't know.
Okay, well anyway, no more jokes for today.
Alright, so...
Oh no! I was joking. Do you actually have one?
No!
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, click your notifications.
I was like, please, don't feel the need to come up with another joke about potatoes.
No.
Okay.
There's only one joke about potatoes.
Okay. So yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already because look at how much fun we're having. And give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Or you can give us a thumbs down if you're not a very nice person.
Yeah. Oh, well, we said that the last episode and actually we got quite a few thumbs down this time.
That's fun. Really? They really took it personally.
It's not your mission in life to give us a thumbs down. But
we don't know why you would watch if you didn't like it. Just
all
hit
the
the back browser. Yeah. Hit the pause button and get the heck out of there.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. We wouldn't blame you.
I thought it was funny. Whatever. Now they're testing what happens when I click this.
Okay. And please, if you like our videos, hit the notification bell.
Yes.
So that you get... We are going to be trying to post more often with little stories and things. So now's a good time to hit the notification bell.
Yeah.
So say we.
Yeah.
So say we all. All right.
All right.
Okay, so we'll see you in 2 weeks.
A fondue.
A fondue? Okay.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.